Oh, it's a baby. Can you put him in bed, please? Right. The moment I take off to do this recording and a baby sneaks out of bed. This is what I talked about on the podcast, which you guys probably have already seen at this point. You never know what is going to give us a little hiccup on this end. We are trying the best that we can, and we only have so much. Okay, so by this point, you have seen the podcast pop up, which means we are coming back. This end is working very hard to put out as much stuff as possible. Now, this is probably going to be a short-ish one. Probably not 45 minutes, probably not an hour. More than likely not an hour. So in this video, I'm going to kind of talk about what's been going on, what is happening, and what we're working towards. So everyone knows, if you've been watching my videos up to this point, that I was regional commissioner of the AYSO in our area, and now I'm not. I have taken a step down from that. My life has kind of been at a roller coaster ride being RC, and I kind of needed it to not be. I homeschool on top of that, and I run my personal training, nutrition coaching, business stuff here and online. So I needed to pull something out. And my word for the year that I made was simple or simplify. Okay. So up until recently, I've been trying to do as much as I could just to make life simple or to simplify my life. And things kind of went awry being regional commissioner, and I just couldn't do it all and do the other stuff in my life that is more important to me. So I had to set priorities, and I have had it in my mind. My husband's kind of says things to me, and AYSO wasn't really, I will say children, fitness. All right, trying again. Baby hiccup. We had to put baby back in bed, so we are coming back. So with that, with the words that I had picked for the year, with my family needing my attention and my clients needing my attention, I felt like it was at the point where I couldn't simplify anything else and something had to go. And so with that, AYSO, fitness, children, I am for, but some of the other things I just did not need in my life and needed that out of my life. So I kind of needed to take a step away from that. With that said, that makes me come back to my business of Darn Fit to the Core to try really hard to push on this end from here. So what was AYSO time is now becoming full-time business. Hear a child stomp across the floor. Sorry, I am a stay-at-home mom on top of it. So I am going to come back here with a vengeance of trying to work my business in a more furious, what's the word I'm looking for? Diligent, in a more diligent manner, and put a good push from this end. There's other areas in my life that really was lacking too. So, what was AYSO time is now going 75% into business. Well, I will say 50% into business and 25% into family and 25% into other areas that was lacking. And so new areas of my business are going to be popping up. The podcast is going to be one of them. Working harder on YouTube is going to be another area. Podcast is going to be included in the YouTube. So it's going to be a podcast / day in the life, me chatting, whatever pops up. Kind of YouTube channel. I am working towards that. On the other end, if you are closer and more closer to us, you will see other areas where we are reaching out in the community-like area. We are working towards bringing the garden portion to the community and hoping that we can bring it back with a more community aspect. You might also, if you're online and community, there are areas that are into discussion, but we're not really sure if we want to full-blown go that way. It depends on how people respond to it. And so there's going to be areas that are going to be kind of trial and error to see if we want to put that into effect or not. And so with that, I was planning on doing a day in the life of for this video, but decided I'm coming back, and I don't want to just come back with a day in the life of and just keep doing a bunch of day in the life of. I want to be able to do other things, and kind of chat it up a little bit too, so you kind of know who I am. I kind of did my history on the podcast that you probably saw. Let's see, this is going to be posted probably Wednesday, probably this past Saturday. You probably saw it. And there goes the headphone. So it might change volumes on you. And I talked a lot about my past, but as we go forward, I kind of want you to kind of get to know who I am, what I'm all about, nutritional stuff. I want to help you guys, and if you know who I am, the more you can trust and understand who I am, and be able to understand my perspective on nutrition and fitness. And that's kind of where I'm going with all of it. I am going to do a quick blurb outside. I'm going to kind of show you where we are in our garden, because I felt like we've already started our garden for the season, but I kind of want to step everybody through what we are doing on this end on the YouTube. So that will be kind of included in the YouTube, the garden portion, what we are doing for the week for the garden, and kind of my fitness, my nutrition. My fitness is, I've been doing a lot of live workouts online with clients. I have not been doing a lot of recording and posting those, but I've been doing a lot of live workouts. So the next time I get on, I will show you a little bit of this and a little bit of that, of what I'm doing, and kind of show you my tips and tricks on fitness, nutrition, and garden, so that you guys can kind of roll with it on your end, but always personalize it. So throughout the last few months, more so the last month, since stepping down as RC and coming back into a more mom structure, because a lot of times I've had to depend on my older kids to help with the little kids, and I don't want that for my little kids. My older kids had me. I want my little kids to have me too. So coming back, I wanted to put a perspective. I wanted to turn the focus back on who am I? What is important to me, and what makes me me? So I had this discussion with some of my clients that were on this morning, and trying to focus on that perspective, that you got to put your priorities of who you are. You need to represent yourself. And so my priorities, I have had to put into check as I'm coming back, what's important and what is not as important. Obviously, there is only so much time in the day, and I do want to have some time to myself. I have to put that into perspective too, that this mama can burn out if I put too much on everything else and not enough on myself. So I have thought about those as I am coming back with a vengeance of push, that there needs to be more of me, my family, and that you might see a little bit more in my YouTube. You see it a little bit. You see it, I do the YouTube videos. I show some of the homeschooling days. But yeah, there's a little bit of a perspective that might be changed due to not having to focus so much on other things. Here on this channel, you are definitely gonna probably see peaks and little pokes of homeschooling. You'll see the garden. You'll hear, and I'll show you nutrition stuff. I'm not a recipe person. I'm a little bit of a dump and run kind of person. Ask my husband. He says I need to add more to my recipes. I'm sorry. Make sure I feed everybody. Nobody's going hungry kind of girl. And that's about all you get. Because I have other areas that I have to put my focus, and if I'm focusing on, make it taste to the satisfaction of my husband, then I may never get out of the kitchen. And I might dirty every single pan, if you know what I mean. So I will, as we're going into the harvest season, I will show some of our recipes that we do for canning and freezing and what we do. We have some new things out this year, and I plan on showing some of that. So real quick, I'm gonna step here from my chit chat. You guys kind of have the idea. I'm going to take you outside and I'm going to show you the garden. What I want to say is, yes, we have a plastic down. I know ducks. They're so fabulous. I don't know if you guys know we got ducks. So we put in the fall time, we left the mulch on it. We pulled up the plastic from last year, and then we put a bunch of leaves and cleaned out the chicken coop and all that kind of stuff, and we put it all on the garden. We kept throwing food out here, all that kind of stuff. We were trying to build up the soil, and it worked really, really good, because all we had to do is rake the stuff off of it. There was no weeds when we pulled the stuff off of it. It kind of looked kind of like that. And then we put the plastic over the top. So that worked. My husband did, so it's like a tarp almost. And then he did these little, hopefully he can show you one day how he did this. But it's like part of the chicken wire, or not chicken wire, cattle fencing. and made it into like little staples where he put it into the ground and to hold it. It's pretty cool. It's almost like a staple to keep it down. Okay, so we'll kind of start at the beginning. So this is kind of what the dirt looked like when we had it on top. That kept the weeds from growing everywhere. So that did that. We started last year, sorry for the wind. We live in the windy area up north, so you are going to get wind no matter what. So I'm going to try to turn to where you can't hear the wind, but we will try. This started out with 10 strawberry plants. We ended up with 19 at the beginning of the season. Chickens came in and destroyed some. And now this is where we're at. And hopefully we get more for next year. Because they say to thin out every 2 years. And we had a lot of strawberries last year. So I'm hoping I think we ended up with like 13 or 14 by the end of it. So it's looking good. We got some big leaves over here. I don't know if you can see those big leaves. Oh my goodness, look how big. I got a rake in the way. But look how, like my hand. It's almost as big as my hand here, guys. Those leaves are huge. They're doing really good. So hopefully we have a lot of strawberry for this year. All right. We've got all different kinds of peppers. We do a lot of peppers. We've got purple pepper, chocolate pepper, gypsy pepper, big Bertha peppers. I'm trying to remember what else. I know that these are mostly, we got some green peppers, I think, here. So we have a wide variety of peppers. I'll take you over to the other one. Again, it could be green pepper, yellow pepper, red pepper. I think this one's a chocolate pepper. They're bell peppers, so we might have some other peppers mixed in with that one. And then these are the ones from my seeds. And as you can tell, chickens are still hopping. There's like a wire on top of their fence up on the top bar. We're gonna add some more wire. I don't know if you can see that. But they just keep jumping it no matter what. So they get out and then they hop over here and they get on this wood. And then they hop in here and they dig. So I'm hoping that they will just miss all of my seedling plants here. So these are mostly my planted peppers, so we'll see how that goes. All right, next, up against the side, we have cucumbers, and we have a lot of equipment driving today. Earlier today, there was a lot of road construction trucks going through. Probably 20. It seems so weird. Okay, so these are cucumbers right here, and I had planted cucumbers. You have to stay on it. If you plant them pre-season, you have to stay on it to get them watered because they are a very high watered plant. But the tarp area is like hot, so I always worry about my plants before I put any mulch or anything on it because I just worry that they're gonna get overheated with the black tarps. Okay, so this is looking good. This is garlic. This was planted, as you can tell, the tarps, it's between two tarps. It was planted last fall, and we are starting to work towards the season of pulling. About July-ish, we should be pulling the garlic out, and it's looking so good. I am so pleased with the look of this, and we might have to add something else here, but when they start turning kind of that brownish color, they're starting to kind of droop a little bit, then they're about ready to be pulled. All right, this one is, I think, melon. One's melon, one's cantaloupe. So this one's, I think, melon, and that one is cantaloupe. And then these are, some of them are real small, some of them are real big. I planted a lot of these as seeds, and we just put everything we could in. We put this cattle fencing up, and we're just gonna tie it up to it in hopes that we can keep it upright this season. Last year it was like the whole ground was covered in tomato plants, so we're hoping that we can keep them upright. I will be coming out in the next couple of days to tie them up, which is where my focus, some more of my focus. I was saying that I need to be able to be out here focusing on these tomato plants so that they're not overgrowing, and they're putting more focus on the tomato itself. We have peppers also mixed in here on this side. So this is another row. So we have some peppers in between because we had some extra space. Hopefully the tomato plants don't overgrow them. And the same here. And I kind of stagger them according to the plant style. So if they're smaller, they're on one side. If they're bigger, they're on the other side. So you might see that this is a perfectly healthy plant, but really, really small. They're cherry. This is a cherry plant. Unlike those over yonder, they're really, really big. They're more of a big sandwich tomato. So we keep them kind of spread out. All right, nothing looks like it's growing yet here, but I planted green beans. So I have 3 rows of green beans, and then you're gonna go, what in the world is the whole mess? We're trying something new. We really wanted to overabundantly have potatoes. My husband was talking about trying the stacked potatoes. We've had a lot of luck putting them in the ground, so we were trying something new. We want to try to spread them out a little bit more than what I was doing before. And then he is putting them even deeper. I was just like, just stick a row and I'll put some in. That's what I've been doing. He wanted to do circles, so we got a post digger, and he dug some holes. He already had it out anyways, and he was doing that for other posts, so he went ahead and just kept it out and did the potatoes. It's a try. We are trying this. We will see if it succeeds. All right, I have a hole and there's nothing in it yet, but if you're a close friend and have been around the last year or so, you know that I have had really itty bitty cute pumpkins, and I take them to our homeschooling camp, and we like to paint them at camp, and so I wanted a few of them, so I'm going to try only putting like 2 seeds in and see what we get. All right, we do have some area here, and we have like, you know, some area there and some areas over there, and it's in ponder of what else to put in here. We did not plant onions. We were a little late on the onion track there, but that will have to be later on to do onions, but we're trying to figure out what else we want to put out here. I've talked about peas. I'm more of a freeze it peas kind of girl, but as long as I'm putting something in, I would like to have the whole garden full of something and be vibrant. We are going to probably try to do carrots in the fall, so when either the green beans or one of the other areas gets finalized, we will dig everything up and we will try to replace that with carrots and some other things. So we do a lot of bucket planting. You've probably seen it in my videos in the past. I will kind of give a quick blurbs of what things are. Some things are kind of dying out, and we're gonna probably re-add those 2 buckets and do a new batch. But I'm gonna give you a blurb of what we have. These have been in buckets, at least most of them. I will say about 50% or more have been in buckets since April, maybe. And so I just want to make sure you understand that some of them are new, some of them are not. So we've got raspberry and we have grape. I think this is spinach. Yes, spinach is here. So raspberry, grape, spinach, broccoli, some kind of lettuce. This is echinacea. I just got it planted, so that's a new one. Carrots, we have pulled out of the carrots, and we're letting these grow a little bit more, and then hoping that we can go for another batch of pulling carrots out of these 3 buckets here. We've got broccoli. I have no idea. Oh, blueberry, another kind of lettuce. Or romaine. It might be romaine lettuce, but romaine, I'll think spinach. I'm not a big spinach, my husband is. I think that's kale. He's more into the kale. I'm not. Give me romaine, give me lettuce. I think this is romaine also. Okay, so if you know me, I've gotten into the teas and the herbs, and we're supposed to get goats, and so some of this is all towards teas and lotions and soaps that we're going to be probably doing in the next few years. This is maybe cilantro and basil and rosemary. Chives is from last year, the same plant. Chamomile is the same plant. We have lavender, which I'm not sure if that's what's growing or not, but we're gonna see. It was supposed to come back up. I don't know if it is or not. We're trying to see if this is, it looks like that, but it could be something else. So we're gonna be that's trial and error on that one. This is chocolate mint. I am not a mint. You notice I have a few mints, I think, a couple of mints. I am not a mint person. So if you see mint, it's my husband, it's not me, okay? But stevia, I'm going to try to do some drinks with stevia. I'm going to try to do some trial and error with stevia, so that's where that's coming from. If you cut off a little bit and you put it in a cup, you can grow a new plant from it. I have learned that. So I might be, at the end of the season, cutting from here and making a new plant inside for the winter season. We will see if that will work for this season. Okay, so that is all the buckets. All right, so I have not shown this too much. I've given some blurbs earlier. We have been working really, really hard, or should I say my husband has been working really, really hard on this. And we are supposed to be getting goats. And we wanted to make sure we had fencing for it, because you know how goats are. But we have, welcome Donald and Daisy Doc. They have been added to our Poultry family this season. Since last year, our ducks got ate by something. We did have a blurb where the chickens decided to attack our ducks. So they have been taught to defend themselves very well, but they are really big ducks. And they're really nice. But they are very sketchy about the chickens and do not like them. So we do not put them together due to the fact that some of the other chickens are mean to the ducks. So we keep right now the ducks up in the rabbit hutch. I know it sounds weird. And we keep the chickens in the chicken coop. just so that we know that they're safe, because we have had raccoons in the chicken coop recently. We have coyotes and possums and everything else that are out here, and chicken vultures fly in the sky all the time, so we don't want to chance it. Now you'll see this black bucket. It was our little pool for our ducks. I'm not sure if he's going to add that back in, but we are working towards getting them a water source for the season before it gets way too hot. And then we have our chicken set up to where we can put food in here, and then I give water to everybody, and then we come in here and we open up and we get our eggs right out of there, which it really needs to be clean, so I'm not going to show you. So that is kind of with that. And then we have a plum tree here, and I don't know if we're going to get much from them this year, because we had a lot of hot, cold, keep it, put a tarp on it, don't put a tarp on it kind of thing, and I don't know that we have much of the blooms that stayed on the tree. So we may not have much apples this year, which is not what we want, but it is what we get sometimes. We literally had freezes all the way up to Mother's Day, and we had 40-degree weather even after Mother's Day this year. So it was not a pretty beginning of planting season. We are actually starting very late due to that, and that's what we get. We get that sometimes. And so we are prospecting that we are going to be all the way into October, you know, pulling things out of the garden in hopes that we can have a fall-ish garden. So our last shebang here, we've got 2 apple trees, one there and one there. I am going to end the video here. So keep an eye out for other things coming up. We are working hard on this end. Challenges are coming up. We have a few challenges that are going to be happening to finish up June. And then we have a bigger challenge in July. So, and then we should have a couple more throughout the rest of the year, and to have a good push to end the year with. So we are excited for that. So I will talk to everybody later. Bye for now.